Have you ever wondered what it feels like to carry the weight of 7 decades, a lifetime packed with love, loss, and lessons that could fill 1,000 books? Picture this. You're over 70 and the world you've known shifts. Beneath your feet, suddenly, the chatter of social visits fades and a quieter, more solitary path calls your name. Why does this happen? Is it exhaustion? Or is something deeper tugging at your soul? In this video, we're diving into 5 shocking truths that reveal why, after 7, you might stop visiting people, and trust me, you'll want to stick around until the end. By understanding these truths, you'll not only gain a new respect for the choices of those over 70, but you might also uncover a powerful lesson about living life on your terms. No matter your age, before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. 1. The burden of time changes everything by the time you reach 70. The illusion of infinite time has long since dissolved, replaced by a stark awareness of life's finite boundaries. Each year you've lived doesn't just stack neatly atop the last like pages in a book. It weaves itself into the fabric of your being, adding weight, texture, and complexity to your worldview. The wars you've witnessed, whether fought on distant battlefields or within the quieter struggles of your own life, leave their mark. The loved ones you've lost, their absences echoing through the years, carve out spaces that no amount of time can fill, and the fleeting joys you've savored, moments of laughter, triumph, or simple peace, linger as bittersweet reminders of how quickly they slip away. This is the burden of time, not merely a collection of memories, but a profound, often unspoken, transformation in how you perceive the world and your place within it. In youth, time stretches out like an endless horizon, and socializing fills those vast uncharted days with purpose and possibility. Conversations, gatherings, and casual encounters are the threads that stitch together a life still taking shape. But at 70, after decades of living, that once light-hearted act of connection can begin to feel different, smaller somehow. Against the towering backdrop of all you've experienced, the chatter of small talk, the predictable rhythm of polite pleasantries, the surface-level exchanges that once passed the hour so effortlessly they start to chafe, not because they're without value, but because they pale in comparison to the enormity of what you've seen and felt. You might catch yourself mid-conversation, a quiet question rising unbidden. Is this how I want to spend my precious time? It's not cynicism creeping in, nor a rejection of human connection. It's a reckoning with the reality that every moment carries a cost, and you've grown too aware of that currency to spend it lightly. This shift isn't abrupt, it's a slow unfurling, a gradual reordering of priorities shaped by the weight of accumulated years. Where once you might have sought out the company to stave off loneliness or boredom, now you find yourself drawn to something deeper, something more enduring. The trivialities of casual visits, discussing the weather, or rehashing old gossip begin to lose their shine, replaced by a hunger for meaning, for conversations that touch the soul, or silences that speak louder than words. You don't withdraw from the world out of apathy. Rather, you engage with it more selectively, more intentionally. A single hour spent with someone who truly understands you, or in pursuit of a passion that still sets your heart ablaze, becomes worth more than a dozen fleeting interactions. It's not that you stop caring about others, quite the opposite. You care too much, too fiercely, to let a single second slip through your fingers unexamined. The burden of time sharpens your focus, stripping away the superfluous and leaving only what matters most. You've seen enough of life's fragility to know that every goodbye might be the last, every sunrise a gift not guaranteed, and so you choose, sometimes consciously, sometimes instinctively, to pour yourself into what resonates, what endures. A younger soul might mistake this for aloofness or weariness, but it's neither. It's the clarity of someone who has carried time long enough to know its true weight, and who refuses to let it pass without purpose. 2. The masks get too heavy to wear. For decades, you've been a master of disguise. Not by choice, but by necessity. Life handed you a wardrobe of roles to play: the patient parent, the supportive spouse, the loyal friend, the diligent colleague. Each role came with its mask, carefully crafted to fit the expectations of the moment. You smiled through simmering conflicts, swallowing sharp words to keep the peace. You nodded along To shallow, predictable chatter at dinner parties, break rooms fighting. Interest while your mind wandered to. Deeper waters you bent and stretched to fit into molds that never quite aligned, with the shape of your soul sanding down. Your edges to avoid. Friction, it was a performance a decades long. Act of endurance, and you were good at it, maybe too good, but now at 70 something shifts. The masks, once lightweight and pliable, have grown heavy, they straps digging into your skin, the energy it takes to hoist them up each day, to paste on, then to summon the polite laugh to play. The part starts to slip through your fingers like sand. You've spent a lifetime navigating the unspoken rules of social niceties. Don't rock the boat. Don't overshare. Don't let the crack show. You've danced that dance so long you could do it blindfolded, but the rhythm feels off now. The cost of keeping up the charade has crept up year by year until it towers over you, demanding a toll you're no longer willing to pay. And so a quiet rebellion begins. Authenticity, once a luxury you couldn't afford, becomes a necessity you can't ignore. You hunger for conversations that cut through the surface, words with weight, ideas that spark silences, that don't need filling, the small talk that once greased the wheels of your days now grates like static, and you find yourself tuning it out. If that means declining the coffee date with the acquaintance who only schemes the shallow end, or skipping the family gathering where old tensions hide behind forced smiles, you're fine with that. It's not about isolation. It's about intention. You're done performing for an audience that doesn't even notice the script. This isn't bitterness creeping in, though. Some might mistake it for that. It's not resentment toward the years spent wearing those masks, nor anger at the people who expected them. It's clarity, a hard one, crystalline understanding of what matters now. You've carried the weight of others' expectations for so long that shedding it feels like stepping out of a too tight skin. At 70, you've earned the right to be unfiltered, to let the real you breathe without apology. You seek out the ones who see past the roles you've played, the ones who don't flinch when the mask drops, who meet your honesty with their own. They're not always the loudest voices in the room, but they are the truest, and in their company you find something you didn't know you'd been missing: the freedom to rest, to be, to live as yourself, no costume required. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. 3 death stops being a stranger. By the time you reach 70, mortality ceases to be some vague, far-off whisper, a rumor you once shrugged off in your youth. It becomes a tangible presence. A guest who quietly pulls up a chair at your table without invitation. You've watch it claim people you love, friends who shared your laughter over decades, siblings who knew your secrets, perhaps even a spouse whose absence still echoes in the empty spaces of your home. You felt its shadow brush against you. Tooth those health scares that jolt you awake, the doctor's visits that linger in your mind longer than they used to. The body you once took for granted now creaks and protests, a reminder that the warranty is wearing thin. Time, once an endless sea you swam through, carelessly reveal itself as a finite treasure, each drop precious and slipping through your fingers. Every decision carries a new weight, a sharper edge. Do you spend an afternoon on a visit that feels more like to duty than a delight? The thought of sitting through small talk with someone whose connection has frayed over the years can feel exhausting, even burdensome. You weigh it against the alternative, the quiet satisfaction of penning a letter that says exactly what you mean, no pretense required, or the peace of sitting alone with your thoughts, letting memories unfold like old photographs, or maybe just sinking into a simple, solitary pleasure, a cup of coffee, a favorite book, the sound of rain tapping the window. These aren't acts of retreat. They're choices born of clarity. This shift isn't about turning your back in the world. It's not withdrawal in the cold, isolating sense. It's intentional, deliberate, and unapologetic. You're not fleeing life, you're diving headlong into what truly matters, sifting through the noise to find the signal. The clock ticks louder. Now it's rhythm, insistent, a metronome to your days, and with that sound comes a strange freedom, the permission to let go of what's hollow, to stop performing for the sake of others, and to embrace what fills the soul. At 70, death isn't just a stranger anymore. It's a companion walking beside you, urging you to live with eyes wide open for loss, leaves an echo every goodbye. Whether it's a friend who drifted away, a partner whose absence still lingers, or a fragment of your past that slipped through your fingers, carves a void deep within you. By the time you reach 70, those voids have accumulated, like layers of sediment, each one a quiet testament to what once was. They don't simply sit there inert. They hum with echoes of what's been lost, reverberating through the years. Social settings, once a source of warmth, can unexpectedly sharpen the itch. A casual visit, a dinner with acquaintances, a gathering of familiar faces might unravel you without warning. It could be the clink of a glass that recalls a shared laugh with someone who's no longer here, or a fleeting whiff of a scent pipe, tobacco, lavender. Old leather that yanks you back decades to amament you can still feel in your bones. Suddenly a room buzzing with voices, and life transforms into a hollow space. A stage where the absence of those who truly knew you plays out in stark relief. It's not that you don't cherish the people still around you, the ones who smile across the table, who ask after your day with genuine care. It's that grief, with its relentless weight, clings to you like damp earth, making every step through the world a little heavier. Every interaction a little more fraught. The losses don't erase the present, they cast a shadow over a tinting. Even the brightest moments with a bittersweet hue. Stepping back from the crowd, retreating from the noise, isn't an act of rejection, it's an act of self-preservation. You're not pushing people away out of disdain, you're shielding your heart from a minefield of reminders that threaten to detonate with every familiar gesture or turn a phrase. Each memory is a double-edged sword, a comfort in its vividness, a wound in its finality. And yet in that retreat, there's a quiet strength, a deliberate choice to seek out connections that feel safe, that resonate with meaning. You're not just hiding from pain. You're carving out space for something more. Enduring, you crave relationships that acknowledge the full scope of who you are, the scars etched by your losses, the resilience that carried you through them, and the tender hope that still flickers beneath it all. It's a search for those rare souls who can sit with you in the silence of what's gone, who can hear the echoes without needing to fill them, and who honor both the weight of your grief and the light you still carry. Because even after all the goodbyes, there's a part of you that refuses to let the voids define the story, only to shape it. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. 5. Solitude becomes a sanctuary after a lifetime spent pouring yourself into the world, raising children through sleepless nights and boundless worries, building careers with their relentless demands, and tending to the needs of others with a quiet, steady devotion. Turning 70 can feel like stepping into an uncharted season of grace. It's not just an age, it's a threshold, a moment when the noise of obligation begins to fade and you're granted permission to turn inward at last. For so many years, your days were shaped by the rhythms of others' diapers and deadlines, meetings, and milestones, the constant hum of voices needing something from you. Now, at 70, the calendar loosens its grip and solitude emerges not as a void but as a deliberate, hard-won choice. This solitude isn't loneliness, though the two are often mistaken. Loneliness is an ache and uninvited emptiness that gnaws of the spirit. Solitude, by contrast, is a sanctuary, a space you step into, willingly closing the door behind you with purpose. It's where you can sit with the full weight of your life, sifting through the sediment of decades, the triumphs that still glow faintly, the losses that carve their marks there, regrets that linger like shadows on a late afternoon. In this quiet, you begin to untangle yourself from the roles you've worn, like second skins, parent, partner, worker, friend, and peer, beneath them to rediscover who you are, or perhaps who you've always been beneath. The layers of duty, socializing, once a given, now feels like a negotiation with your energy. There's a cost to it, listening intently to half-formed stories, crafting responses that keep the conversation afloat and engaging. When your mind might rather wander at 70, you've earned the right to say, not today. You're not retreating from the world, you're choosing when and how to meet. It's some days the effort is worth it, the laughter of old friends, the warmth of a shared meal, but other days the pull of silence is stronger. You'd rather charge in the still, letting your thoughts unspool without interruption, than expend yourself on small talk that fades as soon as it's spoken. This shift isn't withdrawal from life, it's a deeper engagement with it, a form of growth that blooms in the absence of noise and solitude. You confront the big questions that youth often sidesteps and middle age buries under busyness. Who am I, stripped of titles and tasks? What do I still long to do with the time I have left? What matters most when the years ahead are fewer than those behind? Mind. These aren't questions to be answered in a crowd. They demand the clarity of an uncluttered mind, and in the stillness answers begin to surface, not always loud or certain, but as whispers of truth you can finally hear. There's peace in this sanctuary, a kind of settling into yourself that feels both new and ancient. You make amends with the past, no terracing the mistakes but softening their edges with understanding. You find joy in small private rituals, the weight of a book in your hands, the sound of rain against the window, the slow sip of tea as the morning unfolds. Solitude becomes a space to simply be. No performance, no expectations, just the raw, unfiltered presence of you. It's a luxury, yes, but one you've earned through decades on the front lines of life, battling, building, loving, losing, and enduring. At 70, solitude isn't an escape. It's a homecoming, a chance to meet yourself anew and rest in the quiet strength of all you've become. And there you have it, 5 shocking truths that shine a light. Why after 70 visiting people might take a backseat to a richer, more intentional way of living. It's not about closing doors. It's about opening ones that truly matter. So what have you learned so far? Maybe it's the power of authenticity, the courage to let go, or the beauty of solitude. Whatever it is, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below this video and share one thing you've learned today that you'll carry into your own life. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more insights that make you think, feel, and grow. Until next time, here's to living life on your terms. See you in the comments.